Another one are stories.
Right. Yeah.
So what kind of what
Well, you nailed it. You nailed it. The two words that I'll grab and run with are real, because something that is real or organic or natural, you do tend to trust. And that podcast media forum, you can start feeling like you know the person on the other side. And
Definitely.
then when you start engaging and listening to their messaging, and then when they start saying things that make sense or that bring you in tighter, then that might be a next step for the audience to maybe call, reach out, email. But the more important, maybe not the more important, but the other word you said are stories.
Yeah.
Stories. And I wanted to start this podcast by kind of just giving our audience a frontline feedback story that just happened to us at the beginning of the year with a new customer. And I think one of the benefits, and we've talked about this in the past, but we should probably do another podcast. One of the benefits of being a founder, seller, somebody that is an owner of a company but is out there on the front line. There are a lot of benefits, but then there are a lot of pitfalls that you have to watch out for. We can talk about that a little bit. But being a founder seller, you're on the front line, so you get these real stories on the front line that you can then tell another prospect or another customer, or use this information to help a customer. And that is a real trusting relationship, because you've got that story. It's not made up, and it is real, and it comes off as real. So here's the story. So Joe and I, we do penetrate a lot of agencies. So agencies are probably our biggest vertical, but we also penetrate a lot of other industries. And one of them is the AEC vertical: architect, engineer, and construction. And we just landed a new great engineering firm at the beginning of the year. It was the first weekend. We had a couple of new signups, new deals at the beginning of the year, which was a great way to start the year. And my contact over there, he called me the first week they started using MergedAnalytics. First week they started going live. And I had walked him through MergedAnalytics. He did his due diligence. He had called an architectural firm to make sure that it provided value. Like he did his work. And he said, all right, we're ready to go. 1 week later, he calls me up. He says, Thom, give me a call. I want to give you some great feedback. I'm like, this is great, So I call him back and he goes, have you ever heard your customers saying like how awesome it is to see their competitors, go on the website and deliver that intelligence? And I said, yeah, I'd like to know like if my competitors are up there, but how are you using that information? I was curious. And so what had happened was his competition was going on the website, focusing on the inside talent. So they would go to profile pages of their talent internally and try to poach them. I don't know if you know the industry. It's people are poaching left and right.
It's incestuous.
So he said this gave us the opportunity to approach, be proactive, and approach our internal talent that has been with us for years, saying, hey, did this competitor approach you? And what did they offer you? They may have offered you 5 days of remote work versus 2. Is that something you need? Did they offer you this much more money? What is it that you need that we can work on to keep you? Because we all know that when you lose in talent, that is a huge swing. You lose all the time you've invested, training, all the time that you've molded that person.
And the knowledge, and then you have to do a knowledge transfer, and
you have to hire, you have to pay for that hire, you have to retrain. It is a swing, a left to right 180 swing, and it's very costly. So he kind of said the words, he's like, if anything, like MergedAnalytics paid for itself week 1, and we love it.
Yeah. So competitors went to like the Meet the Team page and they saw what their profiles were and they were like, oh, this guy sounds interesting, and tried to poach him away.
Yeah, well, a lot of the Meet the Team, but a lot of websites have profiles specifically of this role,
Mm.
and then it's easy to, as somebody poaching or a recruiter, it's easy to go in and say, wow, this person's been there 5 years, they did a great job, like, let me call them up and offer them 5 remote days or $20,000 more, whatever. And
right, or like one, maybe you can't work remotely, and we're like, we're going to offer remote.
that's actually what happened, because
Really?
I think this engineering firm might be working on a hybrid model where they work 2 days and then 3 days in the office. But I think the competitor said, oh, you can work 5 days at home,
Yeah.
So if that is something that this person needs internally, I'm sure they could work it out. But I don't know all the selling bullets, but wow. And so
that's a good one.
Yeah. And again, that story is frontline feedback from a founder seller that is real, that I can tell to another prospect.
Mm-hmm.
And I love these stories. And we hear new stories of how our prospects are using site intelligence, social media intelligence, and email intelligence. And I'm amazed how people use the intelligence every day. I get new stories every day.